Well, good evening. It's another Wednesday and it's dark outside and oh, the weather is cold. I'm loving it. Makes the candlelight just more special and cozy. And of course, I'm going to thank you all again for joining and being interested in this work and what the guides have to share. I love it. We've got lots of questions this evening, and of course, I'm going to try and get to all of them, and you'll have an opportunity to send yours in while we're here. Um, so, I am just going to actually jump in and get started and read the prayer. If you're unfamiliar with this part, you can go back and watch some of the previous Q&As and it'll make more sense. But for now, go ahead and close your eyes and let yourself just relax. Feel yourself being open um, and just give yourself permission to receive whatever you need to receive tonight or whenever you're catching this video. Okay. I ask God if He will have a shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay, so give me a second here. Okay. As always, I like to start out with a general message from the guides. And let's see here where they want to bring us this evening. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and meet next week. And I know it's the night before Thanksgiving and everybody's going to be with family, friends, and you may not be available. And I may not even end up being available. Um, so the guides do want to touch on that topic of Thanksgiving and gratitude and just how important that subject is. And it's not necessarily Thanksgiving, what the original celebration was created for. And it's more if we can use it as an opportunity to really appreciate where we are in our lives. That's what they said. And to really, what they want to do is they want you to bring this idea of Thanksgiving a little bit more internally. And they want you to be grateful for your life, what you've created. And they said this is a really good time for you to look around at your life, the people in your life, the places, circumstances, things that you're doing, creating. They always talk about that. But they want you to really be thankful for your life and where you are, what you've done with your life. And even if you can take a moment and look back on the journey that you've had so far and think about some of your most favorite memories, some of your favorite stories, wonderful places you went, and remember that you've created this. You've created this life and you've created all these experiences. And so they want you to acknowledge that. And they said this would be really helpful too because sometimes during the holidays we're around other people and we compare ourselves to what other people are doing and where they are in their accomplishments, and it's really important to remember we're all on our own journeys, and we have to remember that your life, my life, all of our lives are remarkable. And so even if you feel like you've done nothing, even if you feel like, oh my gosh, I still haven't heard my life's calling, I'm just wasting away my days, or maybe I'm in a relationship that I don't need to be in, or I just really don't like this job. They said it's okay, even acknowledging that you're in a job. Somebody trusts you to do some work. Somebody wants to pay you to do some work. They said just remember to be thankful for every single part of your life, even the parts that you don't really like. Find something there to be thankful for because that's the only way it will begin to change. So remember When we resist something, or we're mm, in something we don't like, it's easy to look at what we don't like about it. And so what we focus on expands. And if we continue to, I would say, resist liking where we are or finding some kind of blessing or nugget in it, then what we resist persists. So they are giving you this guidance, they said, because they want you to have a sense of freedom during the holidays and know that where you are on your journey is temporary and that everything is in motion and moving. Nothing ever stays the same. Might feel like you're a hamster on a wheel sometimes, but things are still moving. Things in the universe are happening, and you have no idea what out there is on the horizon for you, what's in your journey, what's part of that plan. So, the quickest way to get there, they said, is to be grateful for where you are and what you have. And that's also a really neat exercise to do if you're sitting around with family. Sure, at Thanksgiving it's customary to, everybody talks about what they're thankful for, and take that a little step further with your family's dinners leading up or with friends or whenever you're gathering. Is ask each other, what gift did you get from the universe today? What's something that really made you smile today? Or what's something that touched your heart today? Ask those kind of questions and get people to look a little bit deeper at their lives and their journeys. And you have that ability to influence that by just asking those questions. And when you ask those questions, it puts you in touch with it in yourself. It's like, and then they love it because everybody loves to talk about, what made them smile or what touched their soul. So let's see here, what else? And hello to everyone joining us. It's so nice to see you guys popping in here. Okay, since we have so many questions tonight, I am going to skip over to those. Okay. Now I'm not going to, one of them is long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay. This question is about my niece. Let's see here. She went off her meds and is currently in the psychiatric ward at the hospital. This is the second time it's happened. I think it's worse this time. My brother is angry, frustrated, and at the end of his rope. She's not been making sense, destroying items in their house and elsewhere, refusing to listen to him. He told me he doesn't know what else to do and believes tough love is the best answer. And he's considering kicking her out, which frightens me. I'm not sure if he's serious. I don't feel equipped to handle her either, and I'm concerned about her and wondering if there's anything to know that might be helpful for her benefit and for those trying to care for and assist on her behalf. Okay, that's a big one here, right at the holidays too. So let's see what the guides would say. Okay. So one of the things that the guides would like for you to know, and this can apply to anyone and everyone dealing with a difficult situation or a person that's struggling, and they said you have to remember she chose this journey, and she chose to either come in with a mental illness or develop this mental illness during her lifetime. And so part of this is her soul's calling it forth. And she is desiring to have a very different experience here. Now, this is on a soul level, not a conscious mind level. So, one of the things to remember is she's living in a different reality and she is speaking a different language. And they think it's important that you understand this. And so, trying to work with her on a level that would work for you or me, or someone without a mental illness is just not going to work. So it doesn't look like tough love is going to work either. One of the things that they're saying is she has a lot bottled up inside her. It's almost like, do you, if, I don't, well, I might date myself here, but the old Helen Keller movie, the old, I guess, black and white movie, might be color, but when Helen Keller was refusing to, for those of you that don't know her, and I hope everybody does, if you don't, you need to, she was deaf, dumb, and blind, and so she had fits and rages all the time, but the teacher that worked with her um, really taught her sign language, taught her how to communicate. So one of the things they're saying, it's almost like that. Now, I know she's more functioning, at least that's what the guides are saying. She does speak, she can obviously communicate, but it is almost as if she's speaking a different language that we can't understand. They said the one language that would work for her, that would create a bridge of understanding, kind of like the woman, I'm sorry, I just can't even believe I forgot her name, that taught Helen Keller how to do sign language, that really began to open up her world. They're saying is art. And it looks like she has a lot of energy and emotion within her that she wants to express. Medicine does look helpful, I will say that. They are acknowledging that. I know it's difficult if she doesn't take it, but they're showing her doing art, and it's just this really expressive art. Let me see. So I would find a way, and maybe you can talk to your brother about this. How can you get her, I guess, some art supplies, whether it's pastels, paints. I'm not sure. You'll I think you'll come up with that. Hang on, I keep having this pop up here. And I'm just going to say this too. They're showing me they said there is truth into the phrase that music tames the wild beast. And so music is also very important. And I don't know if she has a drum to bang on, or if someone can play classical music for her. You might even look into the solfeggio tones. So I think you have some options, but it looks like she needs to, I don't know if she can stay in the hospital for a little bit longer or in this ward, but start getting her into an environment where there's music and art. Isn't that so amazing? Those are two things that, they were going to take out of the schools at one point, and they might have. And I'm like, but these are the two most critical things, and they said they'll be very helpful to her. Let me make sure I answered that. Well, for those that are trying to care for her, those are two things they said that would be very helpful. So I would would play Mozart, Beethoven, but I would say classical is what they're guiding me to. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, and another question is, a friend is renting a home and property where coyotes have recently shown up. He has an old dog and is rightly concerned about him roaming around. The owner of the property was told by wildlife management not to shoot the coyotes, but to shoot at them to scare them away. There's a pair, I think, which I just read Mate for Life. I found out a few days ago the owner killed one of them, which makes me so sad every time I think about it. Trying not to project my human emotions on the situation, but I've thought about it many times. There's nothing to be done but hoping the coyote that died and the one remaining are doing okay. Yeah, that too. It's like, oh, it does. It breaks your heart, you know? So let's see what the guides have to say for that. Hmm. Well, actually, this is so interesting. They are telling me that the coyote that was killed, that was shot, even though it appears tragic and heartbreaking because, you know, well, just how we are, how much we love animals, and we want to see those that are mated stay together. It's like, oh, what I'm hearing though is that the one that was killed was sick, and it had some kind of disease, some kind of illness, something internal was going on, and it was going to, it looks like, have a more painful passing. And what we look at as a tragedy, they want you to know was actually a blessing. And this animal was taken out of its, I guess, away from its prolonged misery. It would have been worse to live like it was living. Might have even been losing its eyesight. They're showing something like, and the ability to hunt was diminishing. So something was going on. Now, and I can't tell if it was the male or female. I'll ask if that's important. But the one that is living has, looks like, moved on or is going to move on. Um, and will find others to commune with. That one may take another mate at some point, but it does feel like it will join a pack, and that will feel good to that animal. So I'm so glad you asked that question, because I can imagine how tormenting it would be to keep thinking about that. Okay, let me see here. Let me go to the next question here. Okay, I'm curious what the guides have to say about my house repairs being fixed properly. Now, I had time to clarify this today a little bit, so I just said, are you worried that they won't? And she said, yes, we bought the house in January and still have major issues that need to be fixed. So let's see what the guides have to say. Okay, so this house, what I'm hearing to tell you is that they will be, the things that you need to fix will be fixed properly, and this is an important time. And a couple of things here. Houses have energy, they have personalities, and this house is showing you its vulnerabilities, and so it really wants you to love this house and see it in its openness and vulnerable state, and know that it trusts you to take care of it and restore it. And in that, it wants to provide wonderful shelter and safety and protection for you. And it really wants to feel all the love that you and your family share under its roof. And so, this time that you're taking to fix these things, please take your time with it. And imagine that you are doctors and you're tending wounds on a being. You're going to be gentle and thorough, delicate. You're going to have great care and concern and work with integrity. And they said this is creating a bond for you with the house and a sense of trust and well-being for both of you. You're showing you love the house. The house is being vulnerable. The house trusts you, and you trust the house. So it's really quite remarkable what's going on here. But all of this is on purpose. It was meant to have these um, things that need to be repaired, and you're meant to go through this process and this journey. And you're also really getting to know this house intimately, every inch of it, and um, consider it a great introduction. That's what your guides are saying. And trust that this is happening for a reason and part of this process. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, another question. I want to ask if I should continue to wait for and pursue my old business to be resurrected. It's a staffing business. I'd be working with two others who I've worked with over the past 14 years. The direction and platform is changing, and I'm wondering if it's worth putting my energy and time into revitalizing it. Okay, another good question. Let's see what your guides say here. Actually, you know what? They're saying yes. There's more to be done, and there is more for you to see and know and experience here, and it would require some effort and energy, no doubt, and yet they're telling me to tell you it would be worth it. Doesn't look like this is going to be a venture that you have, like, till the rest of your life and retire. It actually looks like resurrecting it and really creating a well-oiled machine. And then it's like selling that machine. So it really feels like you're going to get it to a place where it's thriving, almost can like drive on its own, and then you will find your way out of that. So either someone would take your spot, you sell it. I'm not sure how all that works, but it does look like it's going to, what their guides are showing me, it's going to take you to another level, another platform, and you're also going to meet some different people that you're going to be really grateful that you met. And I think you might even meet a new business partner with another idea um, when you get back into this. So it could take, might be 2-3 years at the most, and that feels like at the most. So I'm talking on the long end. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Jump in and be excited about where it's going to take you, what doors are going to open, what new people you're going to meet, and the money that's going to come from it. But more importantly, the opportunities. It does not feel like it's going to be the same old, and that you're going backwards. That I was a little curious about, but it doesn't feel like that at all. Um, yeah, some things will feel similar just because, it's being resurrected, but there's going to be a lot of new in this too. And I actually see some travel in it, so I don't know what that's about either for you, but if it's conferences, if it's, I'm not sure. But it looks like be open to it. Okay. All right, here is a question. Let's see. Okay. All right, now I'm going to get to your questions. Okay, here. Um, I am struggling with creating and maintaining boundaries. What's some advice on this with friends and family, especially during the holidays? Okay, wonderful, wonderful question. I think we could all um, use the answer to this question. So, one of the things they want to say is that boundaries are a way of really loving yourself and really telling the world, the universe, and others that you love yourself. And not in a selfish way, but that you just respect yourself, your energy, your time, your senses, and your needs. And so one reason boundaries are a little hard to establish is sometimes it's because we don't know what we need. And they said it's really important to be aware of what you're needing in a time and a moment. And so when you're in the holidays and you feel like your boundaries are being, infringed upon, they said to just find yourself, if you can take a quick moment, even if you walk outside, walk the dog, or just go in the bathroom and just ask yourself, what do I need? What am I feeling? What's going on here? And they said to be able to identify your needs first is very helpful. And then it takes you out of that reactive place, if that makes sense. So, hang on here. So if you're in a situation where somebody is just giving you opinion after opinion after opinion after opinion, it's for example, and you feel like you're not being listened to, and you start to feel like encroached upon, or like you didn't ask for these opinions, but they're getting them anyway. Or you didn't ask for this guidance, but you're getting it anyway. It's like go into the bathroom, take a little break, and just say, you know what, let me see here. I need to be listened to, or I need to be heard, or I need to be respected, whatever it is you might need there, or I just need everybody to mind their own business and I know they love me. And so what they're saying is you can come back out and just acknowledge, like, I so appreciate how much you love me and that you care for me and that you have all this guidance and, you know, suggestions for me that would help me. And I will take all of that into consideration as I decide what's really best for me. And you can leave it at that. Or they said, really, just remove yourself from the situation. And even if you have to, just excuse yourself from a conversation. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Whoops, I have to run to the restroom," or "Oh gosh, I forgot I have to send a message to someone," or "Oh, I need to take the dog for a walk." It's really take care of yourself. And just remember, when you don't, if you're feeling icky, if you're feeling wonky about something or icky but you can't quite place it, just take that pause, try and figure out what that's about, and yet understand there's something either you need to express or do for yourself. And when you don't do that, remember it's an act of self-abandonment. And so you're the only person that can take care of you like you want to be taken care of. And so you've got to be, the wise adult, parent for yourself in these situations. I hope that makes sense. Here. But the question they said is just keep asking, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? What do I need right now? And if you need peace and quiet, take it. If you need, a breath of fresh air, take it. If you need people not to tell you what you don't want to hear, then you can ask them. If they're giving you, this is funny, they're saying if somebody's just giving you advice, you could ask them, just turn around and say, "Oh, when did you use that advice for yourself? How has that worked for you?" And just point it right back at them, and then let them tell you a story, and then the focus is off you. Does that make sense? That's actually pretty clever. Okay. They also said to make sure not to overcommit yourself. And if you've been invited to, say, 3 houses on Thanksgiving Day, but you know that your sensitivities can only handle one house, then you know what, be honest about that and just say it's too much for me, and do the one house. You have to remember, this is your guide saying this, that everyone loves you and everyone has the best intention for you. And so when you stand up for yourself or take care of yourself in that way, ultimately they really love you, and they're not gonna kick you out of the family or anything like that. And that's something you have to remember. And you also have to remember, when you demonstrate self-love for yourself, it is such a great example, and you're almost like a role model, and you're teaching people how to do that. And people that break through boundaries don't know how to have boundaries of their own. So when you have a boundary for you, you're teaching them how to do that. And that's a great gift and wonderful incentive. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Okay. All right, hang on here. I'm going to get to these questions over here too. All right. Another question. Is now the right time for me to meet new people, or do I need to wait and continue working on myself? And got a little add to that. I'm working on myself either way. So thank you for answering the question. Okay. This is great too. And this is really great for all of us during the holidays, where we're going to be around all these people. So the answer to your question is, is we know ourselves best when we are in relationship with others, and when we're meeting new people, or even when we're connecting, with those that we love in our family, friends, etc. Because in every person in our lives there is a mirror that we're looking into. So when we have somebody that we're sharing time with that we absolutely adore, then we have to remember all those things we adore about that person are within us. And same thing, if we're spending time with people who are getting on our nerves, yeah, you know what? Those things are in us too. And maybe not to the exaggerated form, but they're in us. And so what your guides are saying is, yes, use this opportunity to meet new people, because it really gives you a marker of how you're showing up. It shows you what energy you're projecting. It shows you what signal you're sending out. And if you're attracting, you know, people that you're not really crazy about, or maybe you're seeing a theme in certain people that you're attracting, then you have to look at, that's the signal you're sending out. There's something in you lining up with that. And so your guides are saying, yes, absolutely. Take this as a time and an opportunity to not only meet new people, be open to receive new friendships, new connections, new information, new knowledge, and at the same time, use it to measure where you are and how you are and what you're projecting. So I think that's great, and we could use that at any time of our lives. I have a story. I was long time ago. I was driving down the road, and I was maybe going a mile. My destination was a mile. I could have walked, but I was carrying a bunch of stuff. So, but on my drive, no stoplights. Okay, and I'm behind. So I have a mile to go. The car in front of me abruptly turns, doesn't use a signal, and I'm like, because I hit my brakes. Get a little bit down the road, car in front of me, same thing, abruptly turns, no signal, and I'm like, what the heck. So now I'm getting closer to my destination, and the car in front of me just stops in the middle of the road, and I'm like, what are we doing? And then it takes the other turn, no signal, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So of course I was getting really frustrated, like, what the hell, what's wrong? People don't use their, as my British friend says, their indicator lights. And when I said that to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, i'm I've got a theme in front of me. I'm attracting a pattern, and I must not be indicating which direction I want to go with my life. Now, of course, that's a little different than meeting people, but what I'm saying is that happened to me 1, 2, 3 in less than a mile. I got the message. And so if you attract 3 people that show up with the same energy, the same stories, or the same vibe, then there's a message there for you. And so your guides want you to look at all of your life experiences. Um, look for the patterns, look for the themes, because that's one of the ways they're guiding you and giving you messages and trying to bring a little more clarity to your life, awareness to your life. So hopefully that helps. And um, yes, get right out there. That's exciting. Okay, now let's see here. Okay, let me see what else I got here. Hold on. This is so much fun. Okay, let me look at our questions over here. Okay. Oh, so my cousin has a little message here about bringing Art Wide Open back. Let's just see what your guides have to say here. Well, your guide said that is a wonderful idea, and it will be different this time. It will be run differently this time. Let's see here. But there's a lot of light and play and healing to happen. And so, yes, they would encourage you to pursue this idea. Okay. All right. Is anyone around me now who has passed over? Okay, let's see. Okay. Here. Alright, does anyone around me know who's passed over? Okay. Well, surprisingly, someone a little bit further removed, not anyone you might imagine, and I don't know why she likes to come in periodically, but it's Josephine. And she said you have a connection to her that's much deeper than you know. And I would really be curious to know. Um, hmm, I don't know how much you know about her story and her journey, and um, but you, I would say, were around with her in a lifetime, if not her in a lifetime. I am not sure how that's playing out, but that would be something to explore. What Josephine might mean to you. And what she is showing me was that she had a wild nature, a wild streak, and she could be a bit of a rebel. And she said that runs in you too. Interesting. Here. Let me see if she has anything else. Oh, it's your grandmother. Is that your grandmother? Isn't that so funny? You might have been sisters in a lifetime. There's something there a little stronger, a little deeper. I don't quite know, but she's talking about her being a rebel. She's got a like a fire burning within her, and she said you do too. Okay, let's see here. Will I be adding a new horse here? Will I be adding a new horse to the family this upcoming year, or will I stick with Percy? Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Feels like another horse. Feels like a new horse in 2024. Does here. I'll see if I can get any information around it. Um, Actually, I'm just gonna say it feels like a female for some reason. Don't know why, but it does feel like a female, and there will be a really it would be a different kind of connection. And I would say there's going to be a soul recognition in this animal, but it does feel like a female horse will be coming your way. You'll be meeting, and you'll fall in love with. I can't tell how old or young. Um, I'm not getting that, but it does feel female, something a little different. Okay. All right, let's see here. Do you see my new business taking off, or will it remain a hobby? Okay. So, okay, what your guides are saying is that, okay, it will be more than a hobby, and you are on the path to that becoming. So you're in a place of becoming, and they want you to think of it as if you just gave birth to an infant. It's like starting this new business, even though an infant's not a hobby. So this is more than a hobby. It might have been a hobby that you've turned into a business, and you're wondering what will happen. So they're showing me that this business is like a new baby. So it's no longer a hobby. It's something you gave birth to, and it's going to need all the nurturing and care and attention that any newborn would need. So does require you to be very aware, very present, and yet to remain really excited about this journey and what you're creating. And then what they're saying too is this business that you're doing, you will touch different people because of who you are and the people that you know and the way your light shines and the experiences you've had and the connections that you've established in your life. What they're saying is you're going to bring this business to people who would never even have seen it. And that in and of itself is a gift you're doing for the immediate world around you. And so they want you to think about that. You're bringing something and exposing people to something that they would never have been otherwise, and that's really really kind of cool. So your enthusiasm and your love for it, because it was a hobby first, is really what drives this business. And so maintain your enthusiasm, maintain your love for it, and really try and let go of any expectations of where it's going, what it's doing, who it's attracting, is it making money, because then it starts to feel like work and you lose the feeling that it was when it was a hobby. And they said that's really important. Trust in the business has a light that is an extension of your light. And if your light continues to shine, the business light will shine and it will attract exactly what it needs to. And so you have to remember to keep shining bright and keep filling that light, with enthusiasm, and have that childlike wonder around it, because that's what it is. That's what it's about. That's what they're saying. And there's something magical in this business, and that will always be translated as long as you retain the light, the enthusiasm, and the magic behind it. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you let me know. Okay. Let's see here. Do the guides see my journey for 2023? If so, what? Alright, and in 2024. Okay. Okay. So your journey is about settling into your new place and getting to know this house. So for those of you that heard the question earlier about the house that needed repairs, your journey is about bonding with this house and then really living a life where you feel so supported by a structure that may or may not make sense, but houses are our foundation for being here. And so the house we choose to live in represents the foundation of our life. And so you're making an investment in this house. And what they're saying is they would like for you to be a little bit playful with this end of this year and next year and watch the things that begin to unfold in your life because you have this new relationship. So houses represent a sense of self. And you're restoring this house. So you're restoring yourself. And when that is complete and whole, it's almost like you will be too. And then what do you want to do from there? So right now I would say your journey 2023 and 2024 is restoration. Restoration, restoration, restoration. That's great. Okay. Alright, I'm feeling indecisive. If I would get this job I applied for. Oh, okay, well, alright, here we go. I asked you last month if I would get this job I applied for. You said I would, and I did, but my current job countered with an amazing offer, and I stayed. The new company, I gotta extend this here, that extended the new offer has since reached back out several times. My current employer's done some layoffs, but I wasn't impacted. I'm completely torn on what to do and have a call with the new company in the morning. Okay. Okay, any guidance here? Wow, that's so interesting. It's got to be feeling great to be so wanted. Again, be thankful you've created this place for yourself. I know it's uncomfortable. So when you talk to the new company tomorrow, I would just be honest. Be honest. And that's what I'm hearing. It's like, be honest that you're excited about the new opportunity, and yet at the same time, the counter offer was something you really can't dismiss. While that counter offer comes with some uncertainties because there's been layoffs, you would still be interested in this new company if you could really understand a little bit more of their culture, a little bit more of your opportunities for growth, and how you could expand, because it's not all about money. Money's going to come anyway. And so for you, it's about growth, expansion, knowledge, learning, opportunity, and where am I going to really get to use my gifts, or where am I going to get to put new things in my toolbox, and what culture am I going to like better? Like, what's quality of life? What is their company culture like to where you are? And it looks like that's going to be a big deal. I actually think they may counter as well. And if it's not in finances, it might be in incentives or stock options or something like that. But I would be open to hearing what they have to say, and I'd be open to really understanding a little bit more about their culture, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to say this might just be a gift from the universe that your company countered and they may counter, and you might end up with just better all the way around no matter what, and the new position. So what it feels like to me too, staying where you are, even though it was more, a better offer, the counter was better, it still has this uncertainty with it that doesn't feel quite settled, like you can trust it. And I would say that's something to pay attention to and to not ignore, if that makes sense. hmm Okay. Anybody else got anything this evening over here? hmm I think I'm going to check my old phone here one more time, see if any other things came through. Okay. Oh, hang on here. This is so funny. Okay. Ah, y'all, I'm so funny with this. I think I need somebody to manage it for me. um, anyway, okay. I think we are done. Now, I brought my little bowl of angel cards. I'm going to draw two that I'm asking the guides to give us two cards that we can all use for the rest of this week and maybe till next Wednesday. Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is just like perfect. Okay, joy, joy. Look at it, they're all dancing. There's all hearts. And then, how about that? Sisterhood, brotherhood. I mean, really, that's what Thanksgiving's about. And that's what these gatherings are about. We are having a sisterhood, brotherhood, and lots of joy. So, I would say, if I got these two cards, I would say, wow, these are going to be joyful connections that I'm having the rest of this week and through next week, through the holidays. So, that's awesome. You can't make that up, can you? So, thank you all for sending in your questions. I love it. I love getting to do this. Oh, wait, is there another one? Hang on here. All right, hang on here. Well, so I love getting to do this, and I have a feeling we'll sit back here next week, and you guys please send in your questions. They're really wonderful. We all benefit from them. Each question that's personal to you makes so much to all of us. So, all right. Well, y'all have a wonderful evening wherever you are, and thank you. And I will see you soon.